Hi everyone. In this session we are going to see about scope. Scope and the uses of scope and the life cycle of $scope in AngularJS. Alright. What is scope? Why we are using scope? So here you can see about the scope. Scope is a built-in object of AngularJS. Scope is what? It's a built-in object. Scope is an object that's specified as a binding part between HTML and JavaScript. HTML represents what? View part, presentation part, and JavaScript represents what? Controller, acts as a controller here. That means it is providing the binding between HTML to JavaScript. That means view to controller as well as controller to view. Okay, it plays a role of joining controller with the views. It is available for both view and controller. Okay, it is available for both view and controller. And here we need to remember one point. During the constructor definition, the first argument passed through controller is the $scope. The first argument passed through controller is what? $scope. To make controller in AngularJS, you have to pass $scope object as a argument. What we need to do to make controller in AngularJS, you have to pass $scope object as an argument. That means we are writing like you are creating app.controller of controller name comma followed by a function that contains $scope as a argument. Then to define member variables, AngularJS code is used within the controller. Where we are using $scope? We are using the $scope within the controller. That means that contains define of variables, define of member variables. Okay, and it can contain variables that are the application data and methods. Application data and methods. Data means like $scope dot name equal to Sivakumar. Okay, and if you are writing with the method, means function. Okay, for that we need to create one function. Okay, that function returns the value. While you are calling that function, that will be displayed on the page, web page, right? That examples we will see. Before that, we'll see life cycle of scope, life cycle of AngularJS scope. Okay, life cycle of AngularJS scope. In the flow of JavaScript code, whenever an event is received by the browser, then it executes JavaScript callback corresponding to the browser. Okay, and after completion of callback, DOM objects are rendered by the browser. DOM objects are rendered by the browser. That means DOM objects send acknowledgement to the browser. If any JavaScript code is executed outside of the context of AngularJS by the browser, then the AngularJS remains unaware with the changes in the model. What are the changes happening outside of that AngularJS? That AngularJS unaware. Okay, to detect that model changes. To detect that model changes in AngularJS, what we need to use? $apply. Okay, $apply API is used. Are you understanding? So while you are the flow of JavaScript code, whenever event is received by the browser, So while you are doing one event in the browser received by the browser, then it executes a JavaScript callback corresponding to browser. And after the completion of callback, okay, DOM objects are rendered by browser. DOM objects are rendered by browser. If any JavaScript code is executed outside the context of AngularJS by the browser, then AngularJS remains unaware with the changes in the model. Whatever the changes happening in the model, that values AngularJS unaware. AngularJS don't know about that changes. To detect the modal changes in AngularJS, we use $apply API. $apply we need to use. So this is life cycle. We can see life cycle steps. Okay, first step is what? Scope creation. Second step, watcher registration. Third step, modal mutation. Fourth step, mutation observation. Fifth step, scope destruction. Okay, what is happening in scope creation? What we are creating, by which we are using for creating it, that we should know here. Okay, so creation. During bootstrap of an application using injector, root scope is created. What we are creating in $scope? Root scope is created when? While during bootstrap of application using $injector. What we are using here? $injector. By using $injector, the root scope is created here. Okay, and during linking of template, many of the directives create new child scope. Okay, during the linking of template. So linking template means here view. So while you are providing link to the view, many of the directives create a new child scope. New child scope will be created. Okay, so these points we need to remember. Root scope is created and new child scopes are created in the creation scope creation. Okay, right. Next step is what? Watcher registration. So in watcher registration, modal values can propagate to DOM using $watch. Okay, what is the thing we are using here regarding to AngularJS? $watch. For what we are using? For modal values can propagate to DOM. We need to propagate modal values to DOM, document object model. The modal values we need to propagate to document object model. By using what? By using $watch. By using what? $watch. Okay, so now second step is completed. Next, third step, modal mutation. What is happening in modal mutation? So to observe mutation in the proper way, an API known as $apply is used. So while you are interchanging the values, okay, mutation means changing one to another to one. So modal mutation means to observe mutation in proper way. So the API known as $apply we need to use. Okay, that means internally it is happening. Okay, right. Next, fourth step, mutation observation. So while you are changing one to another to one, so there will be observation. That means here what thing we need to use? After $apply, a digest is performed on the root scope in AngularJS. So what it is performing, $digest is performed on the root scope in AngularJS. Okay, in the fourth step. Next step is what? Sixth step, scope destruction. We have created, right, the first step, so that we need to destroy. So when we need to destroy that one, scope destruction. If child scope is no longer in use, means unused scope objects, unused scope child objects, so those objects we need to destroy, then it should be destroy. The child scope creator is responsible to destroy the child scope if no longer in use. What is the whom responsibility is? Child scope creator is responsible to destroy the child scope if no longer in use. Using API $scope destroy. So what is the thing we need to use here regarding to AngularJS? $scope dot destroy function we need to use to destroy unused child objects. So child scope creator can do it. So destroying an unused child scope will release memory that is being used by it and scope model propagation too. Okay, that means what? While you are destroying that unused scope objects, means you are saving memory, and it stops model propagation. After, if you are using $scope $destroy means, so the model propagation also will be stopped. Okay, this is the flow of $scope, AngularJS scope. So these steps, it is following these steps to processing $scope values. I think you clear about this. Okay, scope creation, watcher registration, model mutation, mutation observation, scope destruction. In the creation, you are creating scope by using what? By using injector. Next, watcher registration, by using $watch, your model values can be propagated to DOM. Next, model mutation. Okay, so by using $apply to observe mutation in the proper way, we are observing mutation by proper way. Next, mutation observation, what we need to apply? So $digest is performed on the root scope in AngularJS. Okay, $digest we need to use in the fourth step, mutation observation. Next, final scope destruction. What are the scopes we are not using? So we are creating number of child scopes, right? Scale scope objects. So while you are not using in longer time, those scopes are collected and destroyed while you are using $scope dot $destroy function. Okay, that means we can save the memory and we are also stopping model propagation. Okay, that's what I'm trying to explain here. We will see the examples regarding to $scope. Okay, first go to notepad. So write example program, HTML. Okay, /HTML first. Next, head. Within the head we can write title. Okay, and we can write here script to call JavaScript, to load JavaScript. Script src equal to angular.js, that we have downloaded already, this library saved in one location, so we are calling that one. This will close that script tag. Next, after this we can start body tag, so close that body tag. Next, within the body tag we can take one div tag. So here we are writing ng-app and we are giving app name. That means we are initializing Angular framework here. Next, ng-controller equal to controller name. So my control ctrl some name, controller name. Then within that I'm taking one h1 tag to display that value. Okay, how you are displaying? Through flower braces, two double flower braces. This is the expression tag, or you can use ng-bind directive attribute also to display the data. Alright, to bind the data we can use double flower braces or ng-bind directive attributes. So I want to display college name, college name. Okay, now so template completed. Now I can write our Angular script /script. Within that we need to create module. How we can create module? Angular dot module of module name. That means app name. App name is what? My app. Same I can paste here. Next, comma dependency. Okay, close that one. I am storing that one in one variable where app equal to. Okay, now from this app module I can create controller name. Controller name is what? My ctrl. Next, controller name followed by a function. Function contains one argument. Argument name is what? $scope. $scope. Okay, next $scope, then function open. Then within that function what we need to write? So I'm initializing value. I'm taking one variable. So how we can use $scope? We need to write dot, then what is the variable name? College, right? College equal to some college name, Vardhaman Engineering College, something. Okay, right. Now we are binding through this. So we are using what? $scope. Okay, so I'm saving this file. Save as scope example .html. Okay, what will be the output? Vardhaman will be the output. So where is that location file we have saved? Desktop, right? Desktop Angular examples, file name scope example. Right click, open with Chrome browser. So college, so something happened here. Angular.js script, my app dependency, app.controller, my control function $scope. Then here we need to close, right? Function we need to close. Function closed, controller closed. Then refresh it. Again some error there. What is that error? div where I have closed the div tag. So it should be in the div slash div. Do some mistake and try to solve it, then you can understand well. So again it is unable to access that value. $scope dot any mistake here? src source, save it and refresh here. So now you are getting output, right? Okay, in this way we need to use $scope. In this way, that is the usage of $scope through variable. Okay, I think you understood about this $scope variable. Then another example I can show you by using function. Okay, right. Same thing, just you can modify from here. First take one div tag, and ng app controller, my controller. Then I'm going to take two inputs fields, input type equal to text. Otherwise if I take directly input, then default value is text only. Then we need to give model, ng-model. Model represents what? Data. Model equal to model name, f name. Okay, so this is first name. Then same thing, first name, second name, or last name, model name, l name. Now what I should display? Full name. Okay, so I can write here full name is. Okay, full name is, then use this flower braces expression, then full name is the method name. Now I am going to create one method. So we are calling method logic we need to write inside the controller. See, so method name is what? Method name what I have given? Full name, right? $scope dot full name. So here you should not give like this, we should follow syntax. So full name equal to function, so function symbol, then open function return $scope dot f name and giving some space, $scope dot l name. Okay, so that I'm trying to display. Close this function, function closed. Then again main function, so $scope this function closed here, then controller closed. Right, now it is perfect. Then you can save file, save as scope function with the function example. Okay, give some name HTML, right? I have saved that one, that we need to display. So where is that location? Function with the scope with function, open with the Google Chrome. So I have given first name Siva Kumar, or you can give Siva Kumar, then last name Ramagauni. So here you can see full name. How it is coming? How it is coming? So we are calling this function. So we are calling this function. So function logic we have written here. $scope dot function name equal to function, then that function returns this value. So that value is from $scope dot fname, $scope dot lname, that we are giving from this text fields. Okay, have you understood? Right, this is the process we need to follow. This is the usage of $scope. I think you understood, right? So $scope is a built-in object that is specified as a binding part between the view and the controller. Then it plays joining controller with the views. It is available for both view and controller. During the constructor definition, the first argument passed through the controller is $scope. To make controller in AngularJS, you have to pass $scope object as an argument. To define member variables, AngularJS scope is used within the controller. It can contain variables that are application data and methods. Both examples I have given, variables and methods. Okay, so that's all about today's session. If you have any doubts regarding to this, please comment in the below section of your in the video. Okay, thank you. Thanks for listening this session.